They recognize many type of horse, many type of dogs.
Let me
sorry,
explain
Dasa.
about AI, machine learning AI from the other aspect. So please imagine you have a newly born baby. He or she doesn't know nothing. And Undo-san, you talk about how he or she can judge something. But we have to make sure where at this moment about the meaning of judging. If somebody judges something, there should be some kind of a context about the problem or issues or whatever. And also we have to have also the criteria to judge which is good or which is bad. And in the case of a newly born baby, if you would like to teach he or she, for example, the letters ABC, then maybe you are going to show him or her the right letters. This is the shape of A. This is the shape of B. And repetitions of the such kind of teachings, he or she gradually learns, and he or she can gradually judge which is correct A or correct B or correct C in the context of the teachings of ABC letter learnings. So after a while, maybe he or she can judge which is correct A and which is not correct A.
Yeah.
But you cannot ask her or him about which is good, which is a cat or dog. That means always, if we talk about the machine learning, always there should be some sort of a context which you can judge, and which after the result of the learning of AI, what sort of a valuable information you can get from that AI machines. So that in this discussion, Undo-san asked about how to AI can judge, but implicitly, or in your case, that if we try to let the AI learn something, we are giving some sort of a framework of the issues and also the criteria.
Exactly.
So then that means among that framework of the issues, you can ask to the AI which is A or which is B, but you cannot ask AI which is a cat or which is a dog. That is totally another framework.
Right.
So the bottom line is the machine learning AI itself is somehow having a newly born baby, and that you're teaching he or she. That's all.
Right.
And you cannot get any answer from her or him about the issue which you did not teach them.
Well, you need to give the AI, you need to give them a goal, right? So the goal is to learn how to read ABC, your alphabet. Let's put the alphabet. That doesn't require you to buy a new book once you finish it. You can use the same book, read it over and over again, study it every day, the same book, and then you learn how to recognize A, B, C, D. It doesn't require you to keep on giving suggestions and whatever. Just look at the A, B, C, D, put it in your head, then you learn it. That's how AI works. So you don't need to give all kinds of suggestions in the meantime.
Edo-san, it seems maybe you already understood, but that explanation sounds like a mixture of the supervised machine learning and unsupervised, and also the reinforced AI learnings. In the case of supervised learning and also the reinforced learning, the teacher, a human teacher, have to show the AI machines with the example and also which is the correct answers
right
at the first moment. Then the AI can recognize which is A or which is B. But
exactly.
In the case of unsupervised learning, AI cannot recognize which is A or which is B, but he just can recognize the difference of a pattern based on some sort of the algorithm or the mathematical theories inside that. And the result of the answer from such kind of AI based on the unsupervised machine learning not always match with expected answer from human beings or user of that systems. So that your explanation sounds like all the mixture of all those different three types of the AI machine learning.
Okay, so the easiest one is the supervised learning, right? So the supervised learning would require us to for example, learn to make a difference between a cat and a dog. We do not have to basically tell if the pixels are arranged like this. So we make a grid and we make pixels, and we need to explain the machine exactly that the pixels need to be arranged like this, and it needs to have a sharp nose and all these things. That's not the way that we have to instruct the machine. We don't need to set the parameters. We just need to tell the machine, okay, so we have this image, and now guess what it is, and then we give it the actual answer. So the machine guesses cat, and actually we say, sorry, it's a dog. Then the next image, the machine guesses cat again and say, yes, that's a cat. Then the dog, that's correct, or it's not correct. So without us having to explain how to recognize whether this is a cat or a dog based on the characteristics, the machine learns based on yes and no. The machine starts to analyze and recognize by itself, without us having to set the parameters based on whether the question is right or wrong. The machine starts to recognize whether this is a cat and a dog, and they're actually quite capable of doing that. Now, if we have lots of cats and dogs, then the machine will be able to recognize this more easy. And actually, Google Images now has a very good. You have a bird.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not saying your explanation is wrong, but my point is there is a discrepancy between the question from Uno-san and the explanation from you. You are explaining correctly, but the question from Uno-san is also asking some different layer of the things. So
okay,
so summarizing for example, the supervised AI, the machine or AI machine only can learn from a stream of the bit. And he or she learns or categorize, which is mostly like the cat or dog.
Yes.
And after the thousands or millions of times of the learning, and now the human user is going to ask or show the same stream of bit, that means the image, to the machine, and the machine can answer based on the statistically learned categorization, patterns.
Right.
And AI machine try to match which is this given image is mostly similar with my the knowledge.
Right.
And eventually machine answers, this may be cat or dog.
Right.
That's
but are we setting at any stage in this process, are we setting any parameters, yes or no?
No, but it depends on the methodology of the AI. And in the case of a neural net, we don't need to give the machine any sort of parameters, but just giving them the images, thousands or millions of images. But some sort of a very specific methodology based on the neural network or back propagation algorithm, they require some sort of like a threshold or parameters to make the result more idealistic, to optimize the the result.
Is that
So
is-
that
okay? Is that to speed up the process, or is that necessary to make it work? Because that I don't know. That what you are describing.
it depends on the researches. Some researchers try to accelerate the speed of the learning, but some researcher try to make the possibility higher by giving some sort of parameters or
So it's
numbers to
basically
the scenes. It depends on the research. But the fundamental idea of the machine learning based on the like a neural network, we human beings don't need to give any sort of parameters.
exactly.
The neural network itself learn or categorize based on the bunch of the images. That's all.
Right, exactly. But you can
Right.
actually use that in combination with other techniques to actually get a preferred output. But that's not the nature of AI. The nature of AI is what you describe is that you don't need to set the parameters. What you may want to do is actually use parameters to apply what the machine has learned and apply that to a new field of where you want to go. So, for example, what Uno-san was saying, okay, I want to actually try to achieve something new based on AI. Well, as you rightfully said, basically AI only can tell us something about what they learned in the past and identify based on the data they have analyzed. So if you are trying to go into ways that are outside the scope of that, you need to combine AI with other technologies that may require you to set parameters.
50% is correct and 50% is wrong. If we are talking about the machine learning AI in terms of the business, we always have to think about which sort of issue we are going to adopt that methodology, that machine learning AI. So, for example, in the case of a recommendation function for the Amazon or such kind of web shopping service.
Right.
In such a case, supervised AI or even unsupervised AI is possible, depending on the, like I say, favor of the CEO of that company. Because in the case of or scenarios of web shoppings, nobody is going to be hurt by the wrong recommendations.
Right.
Maybe he may have to buy some sort of like I say, the goods which the originally he or she was not expected, but it doesn't hurt the shoppers. Okay.
Yeah.
But in the case of medical things, for example, if suppose that there is a surgery machine, okay, and that surgery machine is optimized for the surgery for the cancer, especially for the brain. Okay.
Yeah.
But if patient doesn't have the brain cancer, but stomach cancer. In such a case, we cannot use that brain cancer surgery machine to him or her.
Right.
Only one reason is that machine is only taught about the brain cancers, but
Yes.
not the stomach cancers.
Yes.
And we cannot make a super doctor by AI at this moment. We have to specify the issues and correct teachings. And otherwise, the AI surgery machine may hurt the human patient. So in such a case, we are going to use the supervised AI or the reinforced AI to have more specific and high level of the correctness of the answer or the activity of that machine. So the bottom line is we have to specify what sort of issue we are going to solve, and especially depending on the whether that issue is mission critical or not mission critical, that is one of the big criteria whether we have to choose which methodology we have to hire for the teaching the AI. So anyway,
so I don't understand. What do you mean the stomach operation for what?
So for the non-mission critical topics, like buying something from a website, it is a non-mission critical issue. In such a case, we can use the unsupervised machine learning. But for the mission critical issues, we have to hire the supervised or the reinforced machine learning.
But can I ask a question? Actually, because even if it's reinforced, at which stage do we set parameters? We are just telling them exactly what we want the outcome to be, and whether that is so. And then we show an image whether the outcome is the desired outcome, yes or no. And then based on that, the machine is going to learn. At none of these stages, we are going to set parameters, I believe.
So that in the case of mission critical issues, the way to solve the issue is more complicated rather than buying something on the website, right? So in the case of surgery machines, that can not fix the human beings like the cancer in a instantly. But the machine have to do some sort of a complicated series of series of movement against the cancer. So that in such a case, if the reinforced AI is possible to adapt for that kind of machine, we have to give a variety of the example with correct answer, with a bunch of the parameters which can help the AI machine to learn correctly and to let them behave the correctly.
But then you are actually interfering with the artificial element of the machine.
Yeah, in this case, yes.
Yeah, so basically that's not part of the AI. That's basically adjusted AI if you want to.
No.
No. My question is simple.
So
How do you?
I mean, machine learning AI. This is still the category of the machine learning AI of the optimization for the, for example, the neural network or the categorization algorithm inside the machine learning AI. That is still in the this issue of the AI machine.
How does AI study the stage of cancer based upon only the cancer's photos? How does it going to study?
I don't have any specific answer for the cancer surgery machine because this is just an example.
Right.
No. I know that stomach cancers, they are how they're going to use it, but actually, human people heavily involved in each staging 0 to 5.
Yeah.
So otherwise, a machine cannot judge by himself. So learning process is very important.
Yes. So my point is, depending on the situation which humankind would like to use machine learning AI, we have to select the correct methodology about the machine learning AI. And depending on such kind of variety of the machine learning AI, the methodology or algorithm, there are a variety of the way to teach the AI machines. It is not a simple way. So that's why I'm giving you the very, very simple example about the mission critical and the non-mission critical. But also, of course, there is in the middle of the mission critical and the non-mission critical, and between the here and here. And so anyway, there are a variety of the issues. But the point is, we humankind have to specify the problem scope when we try to adopt any sort of AI, machine learning AI algorithm. Otherwise, we cannot have the multi-purpose AI. It is not impossible based on the current technology. So about the machine learning AI. That is a misunderstandings of the most of the executive of the companies. Most of the executives, CEO of the company, expect multi-purpose AI, which can do everything, and also the people, ordinary people, also imagine like that. But that is a big, huge misunderstanding about the current machine learning AI technologies, and such kind of a tendency is also very similar with the past movement or the past movement of AI. The same thing is happening right now. So we have to be specific to the issues which we are going to adopt, which type of the machine learning AI to this or this. Otherwise, we cannot expect the multi-purpose AI. We can only adapt the machine learning AI only to the very specific issues. That's all. And if the issue is not mission critical, anything is okay because nobody's hurt, nobody's complaining about it. But mission critical issues, it cost high if the machine learning AI failed to give the answer correctly. So that we have to choose the correct methodology depending on the issue which we would like to adopt.
Self-driving vehicle.
That is my point.
Okay, so actually, given your example, actually, I heard that nowadays AI will help us to read MRI scans much faster than humans can do, and has learned to recognize cancers in very early stages. So they're not only faster, they're also as accurate and even more accurate than humans in detecting early cancer, and they basically do that because they have the way that I understand is that they have taken like years and years of MRI scans, and they put that in the left column, and they then actually gave the result. The result was this developed into cancer and this didn't develop in cancer. And then the machine has learned to recognize certain patterns and actually has now been able to read new MRI scans and say, based on the pattern that I observe in this MRI, I actually predict that this person, or actually observe that this person is in an early stage of cancer. That is simply by not explaining anything, just telling the system whether this MRI actually resulted in cancer, yes or no.
Okay. It's a good example about mixture of the program scope and adapting the AI methodologies. In the case of MRI images, and the result which we got as a result of the images of the human body, and actually we got the more the specific and correct and answer from images which the human doctor not able to even find the very small issue. That is correct. But so if that kind of MRI machine learning AI give us the result about some new findings from the images to the human doctor, what happens? Human doctor finally judge. Yes. This is as you said, as you mean the AI machine AI said, or this is not like that.
Right.
And this issue seems like a mission critical issue, but actually it is not. The category of the issue is same with web shopping.
Yep. Because we still have the human.
AI doesn't surgery directly to the human body.
Right. But
always.
now it's a car. Let's take the same example with the car. So we have cars now that use AI to be self-driving, but the people still need behind the wheel. And you also have cars where people can take a nap and don't need to do anything. So it becomes mission critical. So non-mission critical versus mission critical.
Automatic car driving is mission critical.
Yes.
It requires a lot of sensors, and also it has human beings doesn't give the parameters to the system. No. But that system already have a model inside that, which is the road shape and which is the buildings, which is the cat or the dogs or whatever. There is some sort of algorithm and the models about some object inside the system. That means
but that's
almost similar with giving a parameter in the context of your the question.
But that is assisting the AI. That is not replacing the AI. That's assisting the AI. That's not part of the AI. That's assisting the AI.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you start to give parameters, as soon as you start to influence the AI, then you're assisting the AI to become more effective. You're not actively touching the AI itself.
Yeah. So that in the case of automatic driving system, that will that definitely assist the human beings.
Right.
But finally, I'm going to change the aspect of that issues. Whether we are able to hire that system to the, like I say, to the current, can we allow that system? Can we allow the people to use that system at this moment or not?
Well, we can actually. I think that the answer should be: once the machine becomes better than humans, then we should be able to allow it to take over. I think that's basically the machine only needs to get better than humans, because humans also make a lot of accidents, right? Don't forget it. I mean, we become very paranoid about self-driving vehicles because it's a machine, but actually we humans make tons of accidents because we are texting, while we're driving, or we're distracted, or we had lots of drink the day before and we're too tired. So humans are also prone to making mistakes. So when can a machine take over? I believe that this should be when a machine is proven to be better than human drivers. Perfection you will never achieve, but once the machine is better, why don't we allow it to start driving, participating in traffic?
Yeah. So generally speaking, I agree with your idea, and please let me add something. If we think about the automotive, what do you say, automotive?
Automotive.
Automotive.
No. Oh, you mean self-driving vehicles, autonomous vehicles?
Self-driving vehicle. Yes.
Yeah.
If we talk about the self-driving vehicle, and in terms of the business, how can we judge, or which level we have to say yes for the production and selling that kind of a vehicle to the communities? At this moment, still under the development and the testing and the feasibility phase, right?
No, actually, I think that isn't Tesla already, because it's maybe not a completely autonomous vehicle, but we already are selling cars that can park themselves and that can take over certain tasks, even merging traffic. It's possible. We have been very comfortable with, for example, cruise control.
Mm.
I mean, is that really safe? If you forgot to release it, then if things can go very wrong. But so we have already been relying on technology a lot.
Yeah. We should not mix up with the variety of the human assisted technology in the car industry and also AI. And for example, you're talking about like, for example, parking assist
Yes.
or cruise control. Those technology are not using AI. It is just how can I say how can I say
Automation.
Proved technologies based on the rules, and there is a how can I say so if we are going to adapt the machine learning AI to the even for the assisting function for the driving, one of the big issue is what is the criteria for the which algorithm of the which company or which researchers, and which parameter is okay and which parameter is not okay. So at this moment, such kind of discussion is raised.
So, yeah, I think but at this point we are going to combine AI with setting parameters. So at this point we are going to first let the software recognize that there is a pedestrian and not a tree to our right. So that is AI tells us that the pedestrian is to our right. Then based on the machine learning, we are tracking the movement of this pedestrian. So that is still AI. We're tracking the movement of this pedestrian relative to the distance of your car. Then AI is actually going to say, okay, then we need to say, okay, are we going to slow down or are we going to continue? That decision, we need to set a parameter because we want to be like 99.999% sure that the car will not hit that person. So we need to set a parameter. If we observe this speed we identify this as a human being, we observe this speed and we have this distance, then we need to set a parameter. If this is large, if this value, the combined value is larger than what do I know, 99, then stop the car or slow down, or that is where parameter setting assists AI, but it doesn't take over AI. It's not part of AI. It's part of the entire solution. And very sorry, I need to run.
Yes, and we are now coming close to my the point, and at this moment, all the mission critical system or machines or software or whatever, always we have to care about the functional safety based on some very specific regulations and the validation and verification methodologies. And AI, especially talking about the machine learning AI, is now, rapidly rising the technologies. But
Yes.
in the parallel with the development of technologies, we, the regulation side of people, are now discussing about which sort of AI can be allowed to adapt any sort of machines
Yes.
for the product from the aspect of the mass functional safety.
Okay,
And,
園田。
there is, yes,
Sorry, I really need to run. I'm very sorry to
Okay.
interrupt, but
See you.
I need to go. ごめんなさい。
okay.
See you next week. Yes, thank you very
お大
much.
事に。
あれ
Okay, thank you very much, Edo-san.
園田、just a couple minutes break, okay?
Yeah, okay.
I need to back up the system, otherwise it doesn't work.